When you have a dog that's on that confused line with everything, you have to be able to take her focus off of that thing so that the negative thoughts don't accumulate. Before I forget, just with the people coming here, because I know that was one of the number one things you guys want to be able to just have people and make sure she's chill. If you have people give her the treats, she'll be okay with those people eventually, but it doesn't necessarily solve like her deep-rooted issue of like when a stranger is at the door or comes through, because that protective instinct heightens. In order to do that, if a dog's focus is on something that her stuff is never really like, oh, that stranger is horrible, negative associations. When you have a dog that's on that confused line with everything, you have to be able to take her focus off of that thing so that the negative thoughts don't accumulate. And with her, she has a ton of self-control that even with her focus on that thing, she still rides that, you know, like here's negative, here's positive. She rides that kind of confused line. Like if all of a sudden she's like, oh, I don't know about that person or that dog, she can herself kind of get it up to positive, which takes a ton of self-control. And it's probably just the way like her new life is with you guys too, obviously only introducing her to positive things. But most dogs, if it starts to go down that negative line, it continues unless you bring her back. So what you're going to want to do is actually shift her focus off of the dog, the person, whatever it is that she's trying to figure out on her own. Because you have to think like, if she's staring at me and is kind of confused, she's like, I don't know about that person. And it's stressful for the dog to think like, okay, it's my job to figure out if this person or dog is good or bad. So in order to keep her thoughts totally controlled, you have to shift her focus off completely. And what that also does is kind of get rid of any kind of territorial or protective instinct that's there. It's like, okay, when you think that it's your job, just look to me instead. And then by the time that you continue to keep her focused on you, you'll know she's ready to go up to somebody when she doesn't care to. It seems kind of opposite though, it seems opposite because it's like, oh, why would I tell her not to focus on that person if I want her to look at that person and be okay with the person or dog, whatever it is. But it's to ensure that it's all controlled thoughts. It's kind of like reprogramming a dog's mind. She doesn't need obviously like total reprogramming or anything like that. Like she's not just deeming somebody as negative, keeps it controlled. And really fast, she's going to be able to be like, okay, gladly, I'll stare at you and not look at that person. Then when she's not trying to get to the person or the dog, then she can go and say hello. So what we can do with her is like in the beginning, you can either have her, does she go up to somebody? Like if they were to walk in, will she go up to them?
We usually don't unless it's a person she already knows. We won't usually just like let a random person in here while she's just in here for the
You'll
first
leash
time.
her or something?
We'll let them like meet outside first, like walk like up the street or something, just so she can like get to know the person and like, realize that they're not just like entering the house. And so usually we'll have them like just meet initially outside and then have them come inside.
The only time I've heard her bark is if someone if we don't have a doorbell, so like people like bang on the screen and like makes kind of like a loud sound. That's the only time I've ever heard her like
she's never ever like barked besides that.
Got it.
But if someone's like banging on the screen door, like it's a defensive bark.
Totally.
But, I mean, we've totally had like people walk in here that she knows, but she just like, oh hey, and then like,
Yeah, so if people, like, we don't, like, one of my really close friends who's, like, the only person that, like, we'll let in here without us, like, alone with her. Like, when she comes over, she just comes through the door and Pumpkin is totally fine. It's like the two of us coming home. Like, she's totally
people she knows. It's a personal thing.
Yeah, it's mostly just, like, for introducing new people to her. We don't usually, like, let them in without her meeting them first.
Got it. Okay. So, and that's totally fine to do if you want to let her just meet people out there, but I'm assuming your goal is to just be able to have people, right?
Just, so it's not something, I just don't want to have to worry about it,
Totally, yes,
Whatever method works.
For sure.
Whatever works for her, whatever's effective.
Oh, you Pumpkin, you have such a good new family. She's like, I know. Get her.
Really spoiled.
She's so cute. So think of like kind of what I was just saying to you, like a lot of her like seeing people or even dogs, maybe there's excitement like mixed with anxiety. So it's not totally like, oh no, that thing's bad. But if somebody is just coming up to the door, doesn't bang, or if they bang, like when she's looking at you, she's at like full self-control and she's calm. So right now it's like she's just staring at you. That's where the self-control is at. So that's what our goal is to always like get right there. So if somebody's there, or even when she saw that dog out there, you know, the bulldog that walked by, she becomes alert. And that could have just been positive excitement. So the more excited a dog gets, the further from self-control they are. And a lot of the times, like people will be like, oh, she seemed like really excited. Then the dog approached her and she definitely didn't like it. So I don't know what happened. But it's just a lot of the times like, yeah, she's positive excitement. Then she's so far from self-control that maybe the dog does something that she's just like, I'm not sure. Or on that scale, it's excitement mostly with a little bit of anxiety at the same time.
Well, that excitement can like escalate to anxiety too, right? Like that line is there's a very thin line when you go up here. So that's why we want to keep her from like getting up here at all. So constantly, anytime the excitement or anxiety, anything, even just positive excitement is starting to escalate, we want to bring it back down here. Because if we teach her, if we constantly are like bringing her back down in this range, she teaches herself to stay in that range too. Without us, you know, directing her there, she's never going to be like, okay, I gotta calm down. Like a dog isn't just going to make themselves calm down on their own when they're getting excited unless we show them that they can. So that's going to be the goal. So basically, what you should always do, so here, grab her for a second. And this could be if somebody's coming inside or out on the street. So just pretend like you guys are walking. I'm gonna go over here actually. Someone's like, oh my God, hi, what a cute dog. Can I say hi? So right now, her excitement is up here. So if you let her go up to that person or the dog right here, it's just gonna escalate when she gets to that person. So basically, when she's up here, before she goes any further, you want to bring her down here. So if I'm like, hi, cute dog, you want her to sit, get her focus. So if someone's like, can I pet her? Hi, just say, either ignore the person. I do that all the time. Because some people just come and then I just shift my focus to her. So if they see you like working with her, they'll kind of wait. Or just be like, yeah, 1 second, or working on training, whatever. So get her focus. Okay, let her come to me. Does that make sense? So you're going to let her come to me, not all the way to me, but it's just like, oh, if someone approached you, she's not already going to be in the sitting. And if I say, can I say hi, just say 1 second, you'll call her name, make her sit, focus on you. And then when she's focused on you and not trying to get to me, that's when you tell her, go say hi. Yep. Hi! Now she knows. She's like, I got stopped. Walk her over there a second.
Yeah. That definitely happens in Ocean Beach because everyone loves dogs.
Totally.
Yeah, people see her.
It's really hard.
Stores and stuff, like she cashier, she usually gets treats.
For
like,
sure.
CVS, they're like, oh, we got treats.
Yeah. And it's not like she can't go to them. Just stop, check her. Hi, cute dog. Can I say hi? Oh,
so she's ignoring you.
Perfect.
No, she's ignoring.
Now tell her.
I'm holding a treat, though.
Now tell her, go say hi.
Okay. Go say hi.
Hi. And that's exactly what you want, though. Like, she's not going to lose her friendliness. Like, you want her mostly focused on you. And it to almost be a command to be like, okay, real quick, but mentally she's still on you. Because when issues happen is because she's mentally just staring at me and thinking about like, oh, is this person good? No, I don't know. So it keeps her very controlled and on you the entire time.
Do you think like using treats in these situations is okay? Because she,
fine.
She'll like I can have her focus 100% of the time if I have food.
So I think it's totally fine to establish a routine with the treats.
Yeah, for now.
And you're going to be able to not use treats very quickly with her.
Okay.
You're not going to want to use treats for a long time because a dog who is so food motivated, it just puts them in a completely different state of mind when you're using treats, you know? That it's like, okay, when I have a treat, great focus. When I don't, it's like I've got nothing.
Right.
So use the treats to establish that routine so that she knows you don't get to that person, you don't get to whoever. And you guys can do this when each of you get home too. It's a really good time because same thing, it's positive excitement, works the exact same way. Like you get what you want when you control yourself and essentially like ask permission.
Okay.
And then if there's any kind of like unsureness or like, do I need to protect, that's taken away when you tell her like, okay, go ahead and say hi now.
So you mean if like one of us is home and the other one comes home, we make Pumpkin just like
leash her.
Wait, like just hold on.
Yep.
And then when she's just like kind of sitting calmly and then it's like,
when
okay,
she doesn't want to get to that person,
when she comes down.
That might never happen when it's you guys, but just think like the more you can get her here, this is better getting her here than letting her go when she's up here, you know? Yeah, just with the self-control and everything.
That's one of the tips too, I think we have for the separation anxiety is to like, don't make it a big deal when we
for
get home.
Sure.
Don't just like get home and immediately like, oh.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's helped too. We like whenever I get home and I open the bedroom door, like she's usually on our bed. And
she is. She's not even like at the door. Like
she's usually just like chilling on the bed.
Okay.
Which is usually, not always.
Good.
But when I walk in, like I'll say hi to her, but I won't like pet her or anything. I'll just like ignore her for a little bit and I'll change my clothes and then I'll like turn off the music and then I'll sit on the bed and I'll make her sit first and then she can come on the bed and say hi to me.
Okay,
so I think that helps too.
Perfect.
Yeah, but we don't do that when like one of us is home and the other one comes home. Like we don't do that, so we can definitely.
Yeah, that will just be good for her and just to know like how do you get to something. You know, it'll be super fast. Then she'll already know like, oh, I want to get to that person. How do I get there? I need to sit and check up here first. You know, and it just becomes so easy. And it's like good manners too.